try to make this real quick. Let's see where the Spirit takes me. And I'm going to entitle this video, "And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies." And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. The small hats are hurting. Anyway, this is the video. Came up in my notifications, put up by GMS South Carolina 08. This guy appears to be one of us. Could be a Cushite, could be a what do you call those? Sephardic. It could be a Jake. But when you watch him speak, he was definitely trained. He didn't just pick up the book. His grandmother didn't teach him the Bible. He obviously went to he was trained. He was schooled in a seminary, just like Vocab was. In this video, it says right here, Hebrew Israelism. That's a word that we're familiar with, that I first heard from Vocab Malone. So this guy used the same wording. Hebrew Israelism is poison. Okay? So now let's let it play. Then I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Because he says, well, let's let it play. They're definitely hurting. They're desperate. They must know that they're getting ready. Well, what does it say in Revelation 12? Come down with great wrath, because they know they have but a short time. So the stars must be lining up. Things are happening. They got a memo that we hurry up and fight this thing. We're gonna wind up getting shackled up, and once we go into slavery, we're gonna be slave forever until we get burnt up. It's all gonna be uphill for us. You get ready for the hard time, because the hard times are coming. So they get these various people to try to knock it. You see, you can't knock the truth. Now watch how this guy goes through all these different twists and turns to try to prove that. Well, let's let it play.
And they go to Deuteronomy 28:68, and they somehow prove that this is about the transatlantic slave trade.
You can see it in his face. Oh my! They go to that. Look at the face, man. This is why we don't give a flying fuck about the 2/3. Fuck you, motherfucking 2/3. To the 10th power. The only people we're concerned with are the potential elect of Israel. We're not concerned with Christians no more. If you're a Jake and you roll up on us, you obviously watched our videos, you better come to listen and ask questions in relation to what we're speaking on, and ask sincere questions. We are not going to debate with you. We're not going to have discussions with you. We're not going to have sit-downs with you. That goes for the Christians, the Moors, the Kemetic people, Jake, the 5%ers. We're lecturing to you. We're telling you the way to go. If you can't, what does it say in Isaiah 30, verse 20? Somebody can read that, put that in the chat. I'm not going to go to it. It says it says many words, but I'm going to focus on this part of it. This is the way, walk ye in it. Whether you go on the right hand or left hand. I'm merely paraphrasing. That's lecturing. I'm telling you what to do. I'm giving you direction. When you're giving somebody a direction, if they lost, you give them the direction. They don't put their 2 cents in. Oh, well, somebody else you know what? You go to that somebody else. We're not dealing with you no more. Now, you want to fuck with somebody, you go fuck with Captain Tazariak. He likes doing things like that. So let's listen.
Well, my question is, what if they're wrong? What if I can show you guys?
What if we're right? What if we're right? And then, okay, you're focusing on Deuteronomy 28:68. What about all the rest of the scriptures? The yoke of iron. All you got to do is go to Google, put in yoke of iron. You know what you can get? You're going to get Jake's It used to be that, oh, matter of fact, let me go to that. Let me go to yoke of iron. Yoke of iron. Look, there we look. You ain't gonna see small hats. Now they put these in. If you go back, I don't know, 10, 15 years, you had a number of pictures of Jake, but they, you know. Now you may say, well, the Assyrians did that. Yes, but Esau did that too. I'm looking for a picture with a small hat with a yoke of iron around his neck. They're chains. They're yoked together so they don't escape. These are Israelites. You can see the way this dude's standing, man. Like a drug dealer on the corner. These ain't Africans. These are Israelites. This is the fulfillment of prophecy. I'm looking for this. Where's the small hats with the yoke? The yoke of iron. Famous picture. Another yoke of iron. And this is for if you escape, so you don't escape again. They put the yoke. If you're running through the forest, you're gonna get stuck. There it is. All I want to have a debate, and said we don't do debates. Sit down. Go talk to Captain Zazariak. He likes doing things like that. Another good picture. I'm hitting on the same. We are those people. We are the people of the Bible. We are the Israelites. Do this one. And they called us Negroes back then. Before that, they called us Hebos, which is another way of saying Hebrews. To be sold, the fine, healthy Hebos. That's slang for Hebrews. So at one time, in early transatlantic slavery, you had more than one form of slavery, but we focus on the transatlantic slavery because they went from, let's say, from Europe. They went down into Africa. The waterway that they went through to get to the Americas is known as the Atlantic. There it is, yoke. These are yokes of wood. These are yokes of wood. They had yokes of iron and yokes of wood. Now you can break the yoke of wood. You couldn't break the yoke of iron. So let's go back. Let's go back over here. Let me close this out.
Stick around for the video to find out. So guys, we are at Deuteronomy 28.
Fair use.
68, and I'm going to read. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So the question is, this phrase, and ye shall be sold, what does this have to do with the original text? What is the correlation? Is this the correct translation? So here we're going to go to tools on Blue Letter. And on top, this is the Masoretic text. All major Bibles are translated from the Masoretic about 9th century. So if we scroll down, we're going to look for ye shall be sold, right? So here's the issue with the Israelites. This is what they do. They pass up all of this information right here, and they pass this up as well, which is important info. They click here and they say, this word makar, that's what the word it is. And they only go here. They don't go to any other sources. To sell, seller, to be sold, to sell oneself. They don't even care about this one right here, because this is the actual translation of this phrase here.
Okay, we're gonna see if it says to sell yourself. Now you can sell yourself. Yes, you can sell yourself. But this didn't happen. We didn't sell ourselves. We were sold. We were sold. This is the transatlantic slave trade, chattel slavery. I'm gonna let him go a little bit more.
And I'm gonna show you why. So let's go back. So ye shall be sold. So here's the Strong's number. We know where that's at. The top is how it appears in the text. That's what inflected means. When you hover over this next word, it says roots. This is the root word where it comes from. Makar is the transliteration. Over here on the right, this is what we're going to see how this should be translated. This is what appears in the text, and I'll show you guys after we go through what it actually means. So we see the English and ye.
So let me go to that. Let me click on this. I'm going to follow his route. Let me see if it'll come up. Bear with me for a minute. I doubt if it'll come up. Let's see. Okay, let's do this. See what happens. Let's do it this way. Bear with me for a minute. All right, let me see. Translate this page. Let's see what happens. And there you shall be sold to your enemies. And there you shall be sold to your enemies. Show the results in English. Let's see what happens with this. Let's try this. Okay, so this is Deuteronomy 28 in the Syriac or the Hebrew. So it leads you word, speech, translation, Okay, Strong's number 84376. Infinitive definition: to sell, sell, seller. Let's come on back. Where'd I go? I'm sorry, let me do this again. Was this it? Let me do this again. Did I hit the right page? Let me try this again. Give me a second. Translate this page. Be sold to your enemies. There you shall be sold to your enemies. And there ye shall be sold to your enemies. The grammatical addition. And thou shalt sell them there unto thine enemies. Just come on back. I don't need this. I don't need this anymore. So now let's deal with this. Deuteronomy, let's come on back. Come back to the king. Let's try the NLT. Let's see what it says. Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. NLT. Now right here it says, there you will offer to sell yourselves to your enemies. That didn't happen. They say it happened during 70 AD. That's in the Josephus. I read that. If you take out a map, it said that they went into Egypt, actual Egypt. There was a route where they didn't go in the water. They walked from Palestine, from the area of Israel, Jerusalem, in that era during 70 AD, and they walked down back into Egypt. This was during the time when the Ptolemy dynasty had power over them. They were Edomites, and then the Arabs came in. So now let's come on back. Sold. Root word is makar. You have makar, thumb, waha, makar, thumb. The word is sold. Makar. This is where you get the word mercantile. There was one point when we talking more than 15 years ago, you go to the Hebrew word, the word makar, the root word, the word goes, that's where you get the word mercantile, but you can't find it anymore. Mercantile, which is sellers. So let's deal with the word makar. to sell, to sell, to seller, to be sold, to sell oneself. Yes, you can sell yourself, to be given over to death, to sell oneself. Now check this out. Makar, right? A primitive root to sell, literally as merchandise, a daughter in marriage into slavery. Because you had, I mentioned this before, this is in, what is this, Exodus 21, or I believe it's Exodus 21. It's Exodus 21. When you read from the first verse, you read that whole chapter, it tells you in the law that an Israelite man can sell his Israelite daughter to another Israelite man, and he can put his daughter in slavery, or he can marry that woman, and her status is that of a wife and not a slave girl. Or he can say, I think you'll be a good match for my son. I'm going to give you to my son. If they become husband and wife, then she's in the status of a wife and not a slave girl. So you had more than one woman in the household, right? But you had different statuses. You had the master, the mistress of the house, and you had the bondmaids, the slave girls, and the concubines, which are also slave girls. You don't understand that because you're in this world. You're in the new world. Yes, a Hebrew Israelite man can sell his Hebrew Israelite daughter to another Hebrew Israelite man, and he can either marry the woman, give the woman as a gift to his son, or he can just put the woman in slavery. And there's certain things you can do, don'ts and do's and don'ts you can do to a Hebrew slave as opposed to a pagan slave, a stranger. Even the word merchandise, merc, comes from the Hebrew word, but it's hard to find. In certain old dictionaries, you can find it, but even if you go to the Etymon online, you can't find it. They'll say it's German and this and that and the third. So merch goes back to makar. It says makar, makar, a primitive root, to sell literally. And yes, you can sell yourself. A prostitute sells herself. So if you're talking about a prostitute, if we're talking about a prostitute in this verse, and you see the word makar, yes, that she sold herself. The root word would be makar. As merchandise, a daughter in marriage into slavery. Or figuratively, to surrender, meaning to sell yourself. Yes, makar also means you can sell yourself. I use the example of a streetwalker. She sells herself. There was a famous song by the great Donna Summers. You know, there's part of the lyrics, out in the street at night. I think the song was Bad Girl. It was about primarily women out there, streetwalkers. So you would go to the man would ask you how much is for such and such and so and so. She would say this price, you'll go to the hotel, get it in, then you go. Then the man might have feelings for you and say, I want you to stay with me for the whole week. So she makes a deal, okay. So let's say it's $100 a night, but you pay for everything. You feed me, you buy me a few things. You know, I want you to be my fake girlfriend for a whole week. I'm on this trip. I want to look like I had a girl. I can't get a girl, so you're gonna be my girl. They showed you in that movie with this guy Richard Gere and what's the chick, the actress? I forget her name. damn. That he would take that woman that was a prostitute and dress her up. Oh, this is my girlfriend. You know, then the other guy, the guy that wanted to buy out the company had feelings for that girl, not knowing that she was a pro. And at the end of the movie, it was happy, you know, a Disney movie. They happily ever after and all this nonsense. So yes, women, even to this day, if you say, how much for me to get with you? Oh, it's going to cost you $100 for blah, 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 blah. Well, I want to get with you. I want to be with you for 5 hours. Okay, 5 times 100 is 500. I want to get with you for the whole week. Okay, add it all up. That might be a couple $1,000s. Okay, there was this boxer. I'm not going to mention his name. And he was a world champion. And he used to tell me that when they won a big fight, they got that cash money, the first thing they would do is they would go to a fancy hotel, and there was always pros out there. And he would say there was other champions that would be there too, and they would get these high-class women. Now, I can mention names, and if I mention names, you would know what I'm talking about. Because that's the first thing that they did. They went and got a high-class hoe. All right? Because what was she doing? She was selling herself. So makar can also mean to sell oneself. It says that all sell away herself. Phoenician, marry, buy as a wife. Yes, because back then you purchased a wife. You know, you had the bride price, they call it. And the parents had to have the token of her virginity, because you didn't want a woman that already been had. So there was a big deal when it came to a man getting another woman. The priests, they could only deal with virgins. They couldn't even deal with widows. Like if a priest's husband died, he couldn't get with that priest's woman whose husband died, because he has to have a virgin woman that's been untouched. That's to the priests. That didn't apply to the other tribes. So there was a lot to the law. I'm trying to get more out of it. Feminine singulars. Let me see what's down here. Okay, makar simply means to sell. Daughter, i.e., to betroth her to anyone. If the price was right. To sell a daughter, because you sold your daughters. As a matter of fact, y'all don't believe me. Let me do this. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. So this is how many times you got the word for H4376. 80 times. I'm not going to read all these verses. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Did Esau sell himself? No, he sold his birthright. 33rd verse, Genesis 25:33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. That's why Esau is mad at us today. Genesis 31:15. Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and have quite devoured also our money. I'm not going to open it up. Okay, this is the case of Joseph, right? Being sold by his brothers. They wanted to kill him. Reuben and Judah, which were the older. Reuben and Judah said, no, let's not kill him. Let's sell him to slavery. And he was sold to Ishmaelites. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. Don't kill him. for he is our brother. We ain't gonna kill her. That's your brother. Why you gonna kill your brother? But let's sell him into. That's not something nice. I wouldn't sell my brother into slavery. And he is our brother and our flesh, and is between and his brethren were content. Yeah, we're gonna get some money out this thing. We wanted to kill your ass. You better be happy you're not dead. And ultimately they had to come and bow before him. But he forgave them. Let me see. And they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. Joseph made Egypt great. The dreamer. So where did it say that Esau sold himself? Where did it say that Joseph sold himself? So you're stretching, my man. And they trained you well. Right, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him. Does that mean, and he that selleth a man and the man sells himself? No. Exodus 21:16. And he be found in his hand, he shall be put to death. So we haven't found one precept where anybody sold themselves unto the number of the years of the fruits he shall sell unto thee. Right, they sold land. Leviticus 25:25. If thy brother be waxen poor and have sold away some of his possessions. That happens today. You got the pawn shop. So anytime you read that word, and he shall be sold into slavery, the root is makar. H 4376. I'll let you listen to a little bit more.
Shall be sold. This is based on the King James Version. If we scroll down, we see the first part of this, the vav or the wav. This is a conjunction. It's usually and, sometimes it can be but, depends on context. So we see here it is a verb, hitpael, sequential perfect, meaning it's talking about a sequence of events. Second person, meaning you or your, but this isn't possessive, so it's always you. Masculine in gender, plural in number, right? So we're going to focus right here on this stem. This stem is hitpael. When you click on it, you'll get a definition of hitpael. It says this form primarily expresses a reflexive action of kal or pael. It expresses a reciprocal action. So we know what...
This is a lot of verbal diarrhea. That's all it is. They're going to dig that deep to make it do what they want it to do. So I don't gotta do any more. But hey, just know. Matter of fact, let me come over here. Then he goes, I told you they're being sent.
For their own agenda. And they don't even want the correction, because then their major point, one of their major points of the curses, is gone, right? So this is a very dangerous group because they don't operate based on what the text says and what the truth is. They operate based on their own narrative. And that's why
I want him to do a video on the yoke of iron. Now he'll probably say, oh, the Assyrians. But wait a minute, who else had yokes of iron on them? And I went to it. I didn't put Deuteronomy 28, 47 or whatever, 43 to 47, where it says yoke of iron. And Deuteronomy 28 is not talking about one event. It's talking about many events. Being under the Assyrians, being under the Babylonians, being under the Romans, and being under Esau today. So you know, you're saying you have to be saying, you know, if you're saying that we're not the people, somebody's got to be the people. Do you believe the small hats are the people? Give me a photo with them with the yokes of iron on their neck. This, like I said, this is why we don't have to just call the cops on these guys. We don't need to talk to these guys.
Apologists and apologetics is so important. So people that are outside looking in that don't have any clue about this, they are able to equip themselves with information to combat this false doctrine.
He's doing the same thing. I think they're kind of putting. I think they're gonna take vocab out to the woods and delete him because he didn't do what they wanted him to do. So you got this. This is the new guy.
And to call it out. Remember, Paul said, "Mark those which cause divisions among you and separate from them." Marking them is literally understanding who they are and being like, "Hey, you better watch out for that guy. He's not teaching truth," right? Unless that person repents, then we have a different story. But for the most part, a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they're not repenting of this, you know, and this is terrible. And they say they go into the
This is terrible.
Hebrew, but they don't know a lick of Hebrew. They just go into the Strongs and they don't even know how to use that. So guys, equip yourselves with this information so that when a Hebrew Israelite comes on and tries to say something about this, you guys can come back and be like, well, no, this is not what the text says.
And then you know what I'll say? Then walk down the street. Goodbye. We'll find out when the Most High comes, when the prophecy is fulfilled. Then we'll find out. When you're working out there in the field, getting your ass whipped out in the hot sun, then you can tell me, oh, it says sold. He sold himself.
You don't have to pretend to know Hebrew, but know enough to combat any questions they might have based on the information I just gave you guys. Anyways, guys, I do plan to upload more coming up here soon. I thank you guys for all the support, all the follows, all the likes, and we'll see you guys next time.
Shalom.
And I'm glad they got guys like this. I don't mind people like this. We just don't deal with them. Well, why? Are you afraid of them? No, it has nothing to do with fear. We just don't want to deal with them. We don't like looking at them. We don't like looking at them.
Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shebel. Honor to the apostles and elders of GMS. Shalom to the hopefully elect. And this video is going to be entitled Response. Hebrew Israelism is poison. All right. And it's this guy right here. It goes by the name of Minister Meach. Minister Meach 7. And when you look at him, I got to say right away, when you look at him, he looked like that damn disguise, that Macho Grouch. I'm sorry. I forgot how to say it.
Macho Grouch. That's a nigga. That's a new rapper. This new nigga name. The new rapper. His name is Macho Grouch. That's all right. You a young man. You talking about Groucho Marx? Groucho Marx. Macho Grouch. That's what he looked like. That's Grouch. Macho Grouch. I gotta hear that again. There's Groucho Marx.
It's this guy right here. It goes by the name of Minister Meach. Minister Meach 7. And when you look at him, I gotta say right away, when you look at him, he looked like that damn disguise, that Macho Grouch. I'm sorry. I forgot how to say it.
Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx. That's his name. He did a show called You Bet Your Life. He's very witty. I don't know if he's small. He's supposed to be a small. He's very freaking witty. The Marx Brothers. Shit, I remember them. Yeah, they'll tear a studio up. Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx is a disguise. Excuse me. That damn nose, them glasses, and that mustache. Look at that shit.
Yeah, he's a black Groucho Marx. Give me a second here. Let me do this. Okay. Let me come over here. Show you Groucho Marx. You Bet Your Life. I'm sorry. Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx. They ain't funny, man. The Marx brothers, they funny as hell. Damn, that motherfucker lived a long time. He was damn born in 1890, died in. He almost made 100 years. Okay. Yeah, he was 86. And that's a disguise. You know? This is when he was doing You Bet Your Life. They're very, very funny. The Marx brothers were very funny. Yeah, Harpo. He never said nothing because he forgot his lines. So they said, don't say nothing. Just act out what you're going to do. Chico. He was an Italian guy. Zeppo. Yeah, Zeppo, Harpo, and Chico. The Marx brothers. So let's come on back over here to Maucho Grosh. That's his name. Maucho Grouse.
This nigga look just like Groucho Marx. The Groucho Marx disguise. Excuse me, I keep saying disguise. The Groucho Marx disguise is what this guy looked like. That's what that disguise is called. The nose and the glasses and the crazy mustache, because that's what he got. Look at it. Crazy ass mustache. Anyway, another trick from Apologia and these apologetic Edomites and send forth. And this dude might be a tear. No flavor, don't know what's going on.
Oh, he was definitely trained. He spent some years, probably graduated with a master's or whatever in one of these theological cemeteries.
Deuteronomy 28:6. See, they think that the whole ministry is based upon Deuteronomy 28:6, which is not. But Deuteronomy 28:6 is as we teach it to you. Okay, don't believe them. They've been doing this for a long time. So lately, you also seeing them send new guys. You got this guy, Dave. I don't know what it is about that nose. You got this guy, Dave. This is him right here. Another Edomite. Look at his nose.
Oh, he looks like Groucho Marx.
Like he got a water putty on the end of his nose, that crooked nose. And then you got the guy, the smart Christian, as well as these other misfits. Now, instead of them just going into the scriptures like normal, they trying to go into stripes of words. This word don't mean this. This guy going all into them.
But none of them know the prophecies. Ask them, what's Babylon? Babylon, let's say Revelation 18, Revelation 17. What is meant by Babylon? They don't know.
Masoretic texts and all of that. Hey, look, the Masoretes were Edomites who put those vowel points on the language to try to force you to pronounce words a certain way. And I'm going to have to go find this video that Apostle Ramblob did on that some time ago about the Masoretes. They was the one that came with that whole crap about the Most High's name is Yahweh, right? And it was a contrived name. When you look up the word contrived, let's go there. And I should have brought the video up, but I'm going to have to go and find it because it's on Daily Motion.
Yeah, that was that was years ago that was put up, because that kept coming up about concerning the Masoretic text. But anyway, you can watch the rest of this. It's 2:30 in the morning. I've been up for hours and hours and hours. Okay, so anyway, with that, you watch the rest. Watch the rest of it. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.